All right, guys, so today we're going to be doing a rear brake bleed on a Yfz450R. This one's a 2018, but it should be the same, I think, pretty much through all models of Yamaha. The process will be the same between pretty much all sport quads, but your hydraulic reservoir may be in a different spot, but the theory is kind of the same. So the first thing you'll want to do is take the seat off. When you do take the seat off, you will see your rear brake hydraulic reservoir right here. At least on the 14 through 18 models. Again, it might be somewhere else on a different model. Much like the front brake that we did in the other video, the rear brake also requires DOT4, so make sure you have plenty of DOT4 brake fluid close by. The first thing you'll want to do when starting this project, other than take your seat off, is get your hydraulic cap off. It's kind of in a weird spot. You might need to use a pair of pliers. I am not able to untwist this one by hand, so I'm going to go grab a pair of channel locks and lightly just untwist it. I will do that right now. Okay, so I got the cap unbroken. It was kind of seized closed. I don't think it's ever been taken off before. But anyways, I got it to a point with the pliers I could twist it off, and I'll do the rest by hand. Much like the front brake, you will see a plastic cap around the top with the rubber fitting underneath. You will just need to wiggle that out gently. If you're looking down in the hole here, the rear brake for this is pretty clean, but we're just going to go ahead and do it just so that we know we're starting the season with completely fresh fluid. You might notice that fluid's a little bit darker. You want it to be pretty clear. The front is so clear now you can't even tell there's fluid in it, and that is kind of what you're going for and what the end result of this project will be. So you got your cap off. If you have a second person with you, this is going to make this project a whole lot easier because it is a bit of a weird reach. What you'll do now is come around to the passenger side of the quad, take off your rubber cap here on the back. And if this has never been taken off, you might need a flathead screwdriver to just kind of wiggle the rubber cap off and help yourself out a little bit. Now, unlike the front brakes, you don't really have to worry about brake fluid getting on the rotor or the brake pads. They are pretty well out of the way. Any fluid that comes out is either going to shoot onto the ground or it's going to run down and kind of just make its way onto the ground anyways. If you want to put a rag there, it ain't going to hurt you. And I mean, I would definitely recommend doing that, but it's just not as likely that you're going to have any sort of brake or rotor contact with the hydraulic fluid. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. What you'll need to do is press and hold the back brake pedal down, break the nut loose, tighten it back up, and then lift your brake pedal back up. So going back to the project here, I was lucky enough when I was taking this video that my wife actually pulled back in the driveway. So what she did was I had her sit on the quad. I had her press pressure down on the rear brake pedal. I broke the bleeder nut loose, oil shot out. I tightened up the bleeder nut and then had her let off the pedal. I did that enough times that we had to fill up the brake reservoir here about 3 times. So quite a bit of fluid came out, a little bit of air, but mostly it was just dark fluid. So it needed to be replaced. Right now, I've went ahead and filled back up my brake reservoir. It's about halfway full. You can see how clear it is. It's ridiculously clean now, just like the front is. So now all we have left is to put your little rubber seal back in there. Grab your cap, tighten it back down. Want to make sure it's on all the way and not cross-thread it because it's plastic on plastic. Pretty easy to have happen. Get that tight with your hands. Go ahead and take your pliers. Just give yourself a little safety twist. A little extra pressure. You don't want to lose that. And brake fluid go all over the place. And that project is done.